Today marks 385th day share lessons I learn and continue to learn with you. I hope these insights will inspire you, support your dreams, help achieve your goals, and empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today speak about very sneaky but powerful communication frame. I think that it's very, very important to understand that to be able to say, do it or don't do it. And be able to use exactly the same thing. For example, the easiest example is don't eat bad food or eat healthy. It's exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. If you don't eat bad foods, that means you will eat healthy. If you eat healthy, that means you'll not eat bad foods. But the framing of the same thing brings a lot of different things in our mind. So the dealer shares 6 things what we need to know about different framing and why it's important to really know the difference between different frames. Bad, negative way of looking at it, and positive, good positive frame. So first one is that the psychology behind it. Psychology behind it. And there is a massive difference. Because when we say don't do it, it's all about avoidance system. So that means that it brings a lot of negativity, the fear, don't do this, move away from danger. That's basically is move away from danger. That is don't do it. Don't touch the stove. Move away from danger. When we look into other aspect, when we look into approach system, so don't do it is it's moving away from danger. But approach is moving to reward, moving to something, moving to better tomorrow, moving towards something. I think this is very, 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 very important to really potentially have both. But I think that 90% of the time, Pareto rule is supposed to be using that moving towards. You're not supposed to run away from something, you're supposed to run towards. Because if you run towards something, you will run away from bad things. If you run away from bad things, you potentially could end up being into even the wrong place. Because you don't run towards something, you run from something. Second thing that I want to mention is loss aversion or negativity bias. I think that one of the worst parts is that when you say that don't do this, that it doesn't say what you're supposed to do. Sometimes I think that it's easy to say like if you don't eat bad food. So I know even some people say that don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat this. So what are you supposed to eat? What are you supposed to do? I think it's easy sometimes to say that what you're not supposed to do, but I always say as well that when a person comes with solutions and say that don't do that. That's a bad solution. I said that go and find a better solution before you say that I'm not supposed to do that solution. Like if you want to do something and you really have ideas and really want to execute, and person says don't do that. Yeah, so if you say that I'm not supposed to do that, so what are you supposed to do instead? Always, this is a beautiful question. Beautiful question. What should I do instead? And if they say I just wait, that's waiting is much worse than really taking action. And even though that action might be wrong, it's still better, 1,000 times better, because you learn, you execute, you understand yourself better, you build yourself, you know what doesn't work, 100%. So I think that we need to understand that that don't do it or negative frame could lead into analysis paralysis, inaction, loss of courage, loss of confidence, lose of yourself as well. Number 3 is the language to thought feedback loop. And this is very interesting. This is again what is that sneaky part of communication. Sneaky part of communication is that must stop procrastinating. So what it says that your mind is always thinks about procrastination. Don't procrastinate. Always thinks about procrastination. Or says that um, about elephant. Um, don't look into elephant. Of course, don't look into something, and of course, you will start looking into that thing. And I think that's exactly the worst part of saying that negative frame is that we can have a tendency to do exactly what we say. So if we say that I don't want to think about something, that means that we'll start to think about something. If you say that I don't want to smoke, most likely we'll smoke. If you're able to look into positive, what you're looking for, so I want to think about this. I want to think about something different. So we'll start thinking about other things. So I think that framing, the way how you frame your thoughts, you frame your language will dictate what you do as well, because it's a language to thought feedback loop. So if you speak, you think about it, you act on it. So that means if you want to really change our habits, rather than saying you don't do it, right, we need to find what we actually want to do. And I think that one of the most beautiful things about habits, and I always say that people say that, oh, I just want to really stop playing games. And how many hours do you play? 5 hours. Okay, so like what you would do instead of those 5 hours. So I don't want to play games. Okay, so what do you want is what do you want to do instead? What do you want to do? What would you do with those 5 hours? Maybe if you play only half an hour or 1 hour, okay, so what you would do? Say that try to say I don't want to do I don't want to play games. Say, what do you want? I want to really start exercising. I want to start exercising. That's what I want to do, and that's what I will do. I think when you exercise is in your head constantly, I think it's much easier to actually act on it rather than once in a while. Number four is framing in persuasion and influence. And again, this is part of sneaky communication. I think that's when people have a tendency to be afraid more of negative frame than positive frame. And it could be like, don't miss out. That's a negative frame. Don't miss out. It misses a fear of missing out. And people really want to really jump on board and because they don't want to miss out. This is very missing opportunity. Or act now and secure a spot. Act now, and this is a positive. Act now and secure the spot. This is a positive frame opportunity, but when I think about which one potentially could be more influential, sometimes even those um, don't miss out could make it even better. And I think that when I think about those two, both of them have the space, and that means that when you think about don't, it's very immediate right now. That's what you need to do right now. Not about the future. I don't like, for example, if I don't want to play games, that is about the future, the things that you want to do on a consistent basis. That means at that moment you need to say what I want to do instead. But if something is happening right now, and then you see the person once you start touch the stove, you'll see don't touch the stove. Because at this moment, this specific moment, you're not supposed to touch that. We'll not say that, oh, you touch something else. No, we want to really save that person. So for immediate thing, we're able to say don't. But for long term, we are always focusing on the positive side. Number five is self-talk and identity. So that means that I'm not lazy. I think that the script say I'm not lazy. And sometimes you can say I'm disciplined person. I'm consistent, disciplined person. So it means that how we call ourselves will dictate as well how well we are keeping ourselves disciplined. Because if I'm not lazy, we potentially could say, okay, like, yeah, am I lazy? I'm not, but I'm not lazy. If you think about the word laziness, and potentially that could really bring more laziness into our life. But when I say I'm disciplined, I'm consistent and disciplined, I think will bring more consistency, more discipline. Because the more you use the words, the more you feel familiar with things, the more we attract things into our lives. If you are very familiar with lazy, I said I'm not lazy. If you're familiar with that laziness, I think that truly we bring more into our life. So self-image is important to really be more focused, forward focused. Because as I said, don't is negative, avoiding, running away from somebody. So running away from laziness, we want to really move towards. So that means you say that, okay, like I am consistent, disciplined person. That's exactly moving forward. And number six, last one, is that I think that the things that we need to do is that deep application for growth. So we need to audit our language, audit our language. It's like, how often do I use negative frame and how often do I use positive frame? And how to really transition just to make sure that we have less negative frames and more positive frames. And I think that's reframe. Like you use like every single day, like you audit and then a reframe. And so that means that the same thing that I did. Like for example, I'm not lazy. I mean, say I'm consistent, disciplined person. So that means all the things that you catch yourself, you need to reframe from negative to positive, just to make sure that we're able to really. And it might be there's a lot of things that we say from the negative frame, and we will not change everything immediately. But if you do like drop by drop, word by word, we'll be able to really move into that positive frame. I think that we need to anchor sometimes, anchor that positive frame, and sometimes even like think about the positive things, emotional things regarding that anchor. I think like arguing a positive frame, I think that could allow us um, to really keep that frame for a long time. And really adapt to make sure that because This is like one of the most important skills to really being able to be adaptable to new way of thinking, to be adaptable to new way of framing. Just make sure to be able to implement that framing mastering. I think that's a beautiful thing when you start framing things positively. I think that it could be unusual at the beginning, but I think that it's even the best things for us sometimes feels unfamiliar, uncomfortable, and when we start using them, we're able to get familiarized and, of course, start to make day by day actions and choices based on positive frame. So I hope you just a bit and see you tomorrow.